Happy New Year, workforce. Welcome to 2021, and thanks for getting Chris over that 1,000 mark. Today, Chris, what are we talking about?
I didn't make it. At midnight, I was at 999. And my wife goes, "Oh, I'm not subscribed."
That's all right. Just like with my brother here, he wouldn't subscribe to us until we
Jeez, I guess I could have.
All right.
Thanks.
Anyway, so what are we talking about today, Chris? There's obviously the prophecy. It is the New Year's day, which Yoshi-P has his traditional New Year's post. Why don't we go ahead and why don't we read the prophecy, and then we're going to talk about what we expect from Final Fantasy XIV in 2021, and as what does this allude to? So go ahead, take it over.
Yeah. So the full reading, I know I'm going to post it on Gaming Kinda. I don't know if you're going to post it on Ginger Prime. If you guys just want to listen to some audio, but definitely go subscribe to our personal channels there. But in the middle of it, there is a poem that says, "Our progeny may never know wherefore we look unto the sky, nor why we dig for truths below. We bear their scorn or watch them die." This came from an unannounced visitor, a minstrel, and is quoted to the Journal of a Resolute Man, and that's all we got. He said that he turned to ask the questions of the traveler, but he was gone, vanished as if swallowed into a rift between worlds. So progeny being typically referring to children, right? Mm-hmm. So our children may never know why we look to the sky, why we dig for truth below, and we either have to deal with them cursing us, hating us, despising some of our actions, or we have to let them die, which is quite a position to be in for people that you feel responsible for kind of paving a way for.
All right, so total theory at this point from my perspective, guys. This is just my history with this game this is coming into its 11th year of service. This is my, coming into my 11th year with this game. And so when we talk about our children may never know why we look to the sky, what happened in the sky? You had Bahamut rain down terror, and it's like as time has passed in this game, that event has become further and further away. Just like how, like a real world live event, like at some point people will look back on 2020 and be like, yeah, history. It's like you're kind of disconnected from it. So at the end of the day, they might not know how we look to that. But we also now have kind of the teasing of Lunar Bahamut. We also have that fear of it happening again. And so, like, the children may never know why we look to the sky. Let me see here. What was the rest of that?
Nor why we dig for truths below. That's the part that really seems more interesting to me, because it seems like the more urgent. It seems like the answer to the sky is we're going to find out in the ground, which means we either need to look at remnants from past things that have come from the sky, or we need to look at remnants of technology or documentation that we believe we're going to find.
And we've been doing that, like obviously with the Algans, with like many of the different past civilizations that have all succumbed to various calamities, right? So then we talk about that concept, but then a fan theory would be like, as we've kind of learned about how what brought Zodiac and Hydaelyn into existence in the first place, like, are we going to unearth whatever that was? Like, are we going to dig so far down in our curiosity as what has happened and reawaken whatever that ended up being in the first place, kind of then starting it all over full circle. That's, again, my speculation and theory. There's take it with a grain of salt.
The big question is, who's digging? Who is this resolute man as far as like what? Just first and foremost, what civilization and what primary timeline does he identify with?
Well, what even Shard, because even he was Yoshi-P in his letter is talking about, who is this resolute man? He's like, he vanished right before my eyes, if swallowed into a rift between worlds.
If anybody watching this hasn't finished MSQ, just know that's not going to answer this for you.
Right.
Enjoy it, but this is still confusing. So yeah, it's interesting. We've seen in my little foray with Final Fantasy XIV's story, I've already personally seen, and I know you guys have all finished story, there's definitely a tough relationship that 14 chooses to address sometimes between parents and their children, or parents and their adoptive children, or somebody that's in a childlike role. Somebody that would look to somebody as a father figure, whether or not that person is genetically their father. And that person has to make tough decisions where they know that those children may hate them. So like we've seen that addressed in recent storylines. We've seen that addressed. So like that's not new, but it's something to base our going into an expansion on. I don't know how we get something big enough unless it's tied to what just happened in 5.4. So we got 5.4. What? It's January 1st. We don't have 5.4.1 yet.
Right.
I assume 5.4.1 would be next Tuesday.
Yeah, that makes the most sense.
That makes the most sense. Yeah. That's January 5th. 5.4.1 is going to let us finish up the rebuilding of Ishgard storyline, which hopefully will end in some sort of answer to the number one Q&A question of all time.
Ishgard housing.
When do we get more housing?
Yeah. Well, and also specifically Ishgard housing.
Ishgard housing is the specific one this will address. But yes, we're immediately now asking about yet another ward. What's going on with housing? So that's 5.4.1.
Yeah, and then following
how far out does that put 5.4.5, which is next chapter of Boja, which has already been confirmed to not be the last chapter of Boja.
February.
So we'll get more Boja with 5.5.5.
Yeah, 5.4.5 is going to be February. And I think that's going to either come shortly after the big old announcement drops of everything. You know,
what did they call it this time? He called it a showcase.
Showcase. You know, in which that and so
words matter.
And now what's been interesting.
These are very carefully translated letters, guys. These the words here, as Westerners, this is our chance to read between the lines and read punctuation. Yeah. We don't get to do that with pre-patch notes. We don't get to do that with live translations from Reddit. We don't get to do that when they actually have a translator with them. We all have to assume that the most of the meaning has come across and we get lost. But with these letters, these are much more carefully crafted.
So on that though, it's like the reason I'm thinking February, we got the showcase. This isn't, you know, and we might use the term as a group interchangeably with FanFest. I'm going to bet that they're still going to look to see if that's something possible to do later this year. I would think it might just be like, all right, it's a lot of work. It's, you know, we've already made the announcement. Let's just focus in on
Japan
release.
Will get a launch event for the expansion.
Yeah, something like that. And then they'll look at
just now, like they have all sorts of cool stuff in Japan.
I'm very curious as to like if this showcase also will feature 16. I think it's a great opportunity to talk about the future of 14 and the future of like 16 and Final Fantasy, especially with Yoshi-P leading in the helm with this division, especially because this letter summarizes that 14's not ending, you know.
Yes.
You know, so what the question is that is it going to metamorphosize into something at some point, and if so, when, and if not, you know, like okay, like that's what it is. But that's something we'll continually debate and have that conversation. So look forward to future videos this month on that topic. But
it says the final chapter in the Tale of the Star.
Yeah.
Not the final chapter of Final Fantasy XIV, which does mean we are done with the first, but we are not done with 14.
Right. And well, the star is in Heidelin. So what's going to happen? Will we go to?
Is that what you think he means?
Yeah, that's
not just as a gentle.
So when Final Fantasy references the star, they're usually referring to the planet and a plane of existence. You know.
Oh. We could get a final trial fight that really matters.
It really matters. So
we don't have to. The last trial fight of an expansion could just be hype. It could be like, oh, they gave us a hero and he was and they turned to be a bad guy and then we killed him and then it was over and it had no long-lasting ramifications. It could also totally alter our entire understanding.
Exactly. So, you know, I feel and have long been a proponent that something, I can't wait to see what it is. Whatever it is, I'm going to be thrilled and excited.
One up things if it's that important of a fight.
Oh, it's Soken. He's going to do that. Like that's not even. I'm not even worried. That's not even a fear. Like that's like so far gone. I think it's anyway. Like I think that's a bigger topic for a bigger video that that we need to sit down and make. Maybe we'll do that live because I'd love to get the community's live feedback to it because I think that would help round out kind of the theories here. But on to kind of what we know for 2021, right? So
Yes.
I'm going to say 545 in February. It would be awesome if it was before that, so that way they can kind of just focus all that time on 5.5 and what's coming down the road the rest of this year and the
Showcase
expansion
date? Has
6.0.
that been confirmed?
Yeah, the showcase date has been confirmed. You can look it up just so we have the exact date. I don't have it memorized, but it
Yeah.
will be on the schedule. So then also like the Square Enix trademarked a name Forspoken. So the theory, just like as before, whenever they've kind of done these different trademarks, kind of teases out the name that we get. Sometimes it's a little bit slightly differently translated in that regards, but 6.0 could be called Forspoken, and we'll hear that. We'll get the trailer. We'll get a Yoshi-P keynote. The question that we keep debating back and forth, and I'd love to know. I mean, anybody can post their theories below. I think that they're just going to give us the bulk of the information, as opposed to like NA was the trailer, then like either Japan or Europe was the first job reveal, and then etc. was like, oh, and now we've shown off all of the features, etc. I think that either I think from just a logistical perspective, they're going to have all the attention. This is going to be such a massive way of giving people's attention. And I think they're going to have to cap it somewhere around an hour and a half to 2 hours, because humans can only absorb so much information. And with that means I think it's going to be pre-recorded, very clean, focused, and also probably in all languages that are, interested in it, that are supported. So that way it's just like, yep, here's the information. And then they'll probably have some other things that sprinkle out. And I'm going to bet virtually over the course of the next 6 months. Meaning, we've seen it done already. Square Enix with Outriders had a kind of a presser event with instead of people coming to a location, it was held online. So it's like, all right, here you go. So I'm wondering if we'll see that shift as well. Like, okay, like maybe the media tour is literally going to be like, okay, here are the people that we want to get together on a Zoom call. We're going to do this, and then we're going to let you download this client and play it, and you're going to sign this document that says that you're not going to take the code, or you're going to remote into a cloud machine or something like that we've set up or something, in that way. And so I think that's going to be kind of how the rest of this year rolls out into, I'm gonna guess, the September release for 6.0 in that regards. What do you think?
I don't know the 6.0 release. I know between then we have another Ultimate fight that we've yet to see.
Yeah.
So
who do you think it's going to be?
I don't know. My vote is that we watch the world burn. My vote is that they throw it out of left field. I think my most recent one is Mog. Is let's see some Moogle King with, gunbreakers and dancers in a blue mage final forms, and like and I said it in Happy's stream, and he's like, "You don't even do ultimates. You just want to watch us die a lot."
Yeah.
And my response was, "Yeah." Like, that's what ultimate fights are to me. It's the community together and watching the people who put the most time in and the people who play at the highest level. They both try it, going in and just getting their face kicked in for sometimes weeks. Like, that's the plan.
That's the plan. Well, and that also helps lead up. That's the thing I think is going to give that hardcore community something to really grind on as they go into 6.0.
But I don't think that's who it'll be.
Well, who knows, guys? Let us know. Let us know. Like, if you made it to this part of the video, let us know in the comments below. Like, ultimate, and then name the fight that you want to see in, for 5.5. I think that's going to be really exciting. I think that the thing that I want to see is I want to see cross data center matching. Like, if they came out with that feature and really kind of connecting this community, because like last time with 4.5. I was like 4, 5, 6, or 7 or 8 or something like that. That's when they introduced the cross data center world visit. That's when they had that. Like, the data center world visit system, which I think has been a huge blessing to the community. And then prior to, like, we've continued to see these servers grow and them do those kind of updates prior to the expansion. And I think that would be something really exciting to see network wise, what they hopefully end up introducing, because it just continues to be, an overall improvement. And one of the things that we run into is when people are on Primal or Crystal or, outside of the NA kind of space, people are, like, oh yeah, we could play. Oh, we can't. Nuts. Go ahead.
The 14 announcement showcase is February 5th at 5:30 PT, 8:30 PM ET.
February 5th.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
So, it's just a start date. We don't know how long it lasts. We don't know if
They're doing a 14-hour live stream. Like they've already announced a 14.
That's all 6.0 based.
No, that's the
Okay,
a lot of this.
So we don't know. We don't know. It's not. We don't know
Right.
how much of it will be. And is it going to all be like? How many? What's the Q&A like? We don't. I don't know. I don't know format. Like I don't know.
A part of this. So like from a format though, from what they've kind of alluded to, we didn't get that 14-hour broadcast at the 1 year. Like COVID has really kind of just thrown everything into a whole different pattern, and like outside of the fact that COVID sucks and it's really caused a lot of suffering, like there's been like them kind of maybe rethinking some things might be really kind of good for the overall like community itself, and like what we can do, like we talked about in another video, of virtualized events, like a virtualized fan fest within the game itself, so you don't have to travel to where
and the 14 English Twitter posted out that they tweeted out that it would include live translation.
Mm-hmm. So, yes. And so
nice.
it'll kick off with 6.0, and then they'll probably do some other things. Like you'll see like, hey, what's going on? So that's the plan, and that's what we know. And that's also the summary of this letter. Chris, if you're good, I think you're going to go post the full reading over on your channel. Thanks everybody who's
mine will be up later this afternoon after stream.
Yeah. So go check them out. Go hang out with Chris. Let's all hear your theories live. If you made it here, top link is for Twitch. So go hang out with Chris. Julie and I might be having a baby today. So New Year's baby, kick off the year right. We'll see.
That'd be great.
I'm going to go give her some more juice and rub her back right now, guys. So for Work to Game, my name's Brian.
My name's Chris. Go check out my personal channels. Today's my big project announcement.
Check it out. Check it out in second link in the description. All right, guys. Happy New Year. Love you guys. We'll see you soon.